All right, I think we're live. I think everything is all right. Yeah, let me know if anything's missing or something, but I think everything is all right. Sound is on. We have all of the things we need right here. The news is coming in about 2.5 minutes. We'll briefly go over the news, but apart from that, we'll just await the news, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the most likely scenario afterwards. That's all we can do for now. I mean, like I said, I'll briefly get into the news. This is like basically everything, or at least most of these things with high impact are what we are looking at. And Bitcoin right now, if we're taking a look at it, you can see that it's been a bit volatile over the course of today. But no clear direction, right? I mean, you would say that maybe the clear direction is still bearish and is still down, but that's not 100% the case. So how's everyone doing? Is everyone having a good week? Profitable week? We are, or at least I am having quite a profitable week, so that's good. I have quite a lot of shorts open, so you might be able to predict what I hope will happen with this news. But quickly to go over it, we have the initial jobless claims and the continuing jobless claims. The results, if we want a bullish Bitcoin, for those should be higher than expected. All right, and the main thing, what is this? And the main thing you have to take a look at is the dollar strength index, all right? Because usually if the dollar strength index is going down, and the dollar strength index is basically how well is the US economy doing, how well is the dollar doing, if this goes down, that's bullish for Bitcoin. So if there are more initial jobless claims and more continuing jobless claims, that's bearish for the dollar strength index and therefore bullish for Bitcoin. And apart from that, if the inflation rate and the CPI go up, so if they're higher than expected, then the interest rates probably will need to go up. So that's then bullish for the dollar strength index and bearish for Bitcoin. So the inflation rate and the CPI need to be lower than expected. But we'll see. All right, right now we're probably going to get some volatility in the short term, and then afterwards we'll see what that means. I think, yeah. So it's coming in 20 seconds. A little countdown, and then we'll see. So we'll get it as soon as possible. I'll quickly post the thing also in the chat. Perhaps I'm too late, but then you can see it a little bit earlier because I don't think there's a delay, but there's always a little bit of a delay of a delay with a live stream, right? So there it is. 1 second. Here it is. All right. Well, we're going to slowly get the results. The dollar strength index is a relatively bullish, as you can see. Inflation rate higher than expected. CPI higher than expected. Initial jobless claims lower than expected, which is also bearish for Bitcoin. Continuing jobless claims higher than expected. It's a little bit mixed, but it's mostly bullish for the dollar strength index and bearish for Bitcoin. So that's also what we're seeing right now. Bitcoin is falling, dollar strength index is going up. Dollar strength index is getting towards resistance though, so we'll see how much these results actually matter. And Bitcoin is going towards support. Obviously, Bitcoin still has a lot of support right here between 26,700 and 26,500, so it's definitely not over for Bitcoin. And we have all of the results right now. As you can see, the CPI SA, seasonally adjusted, is actually lower than expected. CPI is higher than expected. Inflation rate year on year is higher than expected. Core inflation rate is as expected. Inflation rate month on month is higher than expected. Core inflation rate month on month is as expected. Initial jobless claims is lower than expected. Continuing jobless claims are higher than expected. And both the previous numbers of the continuing jobless claims and the initial jobless claims are higher than expected. So when we're adding up the numbers, like obviously some of these events matter more than others, but when we're adding up the numbers, we have one event that's bullish for Bitcoin, one event that's bearish for Bitcoin, another one that's bearish for Bitcoin, another one that's bearish for Bitcoin, so it's 3-1. Then another one that's bearish for Bitcoin, so that's 4-1. And then we have three numbers which are bullish for Bitcoin. So that makes it 4 results that are bullish and 4 results that are bearish. So that's difficult, all right? That means that overall, this is actually a little bit of a neutral outcome, I would say. Like if we're purely objectively looking at these statistics, there are as many bullish outcomes as there are bearish outcomes, and then we have two neutral outcomes. They're just as expected, which could be considered bullish or bearish, but that's a little bit hard always to kind of put an estimate on. So I think the market is going to decide, all right? Because what you could argue is that the inflation rate and the CPI are the most important numbers we have. And I do agree with that. The CPI and the inflation rate are more important than the initial jobless claims and the continuing jobless claims. But when we're taking a look at it, see, the CPI was already expected to go up, and it has gone up a little bit more, but you know, does that really matter? And then we have the inflation rate that has practically stayed the same since the previous ones. And then the jobless numbers are actually altogether, they're quite bullish for Bitcoin. So I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be of this news, guys. I don't know. It's difficult to say right now. It is difficult to say. I think we have to rely on what the price will tell us. All right. So right now we're seeing that the dollar strength index is quite bullish. I think the dollar strength index is the main indicator to look at. All right. So the dollar strength index itself, if we're taking a look at that, I would say that it's kind of in this area, right? So it has resistance around $106. And then it has quite a lot of support right here around 105.4. So I really think, and the dollar strength index, guys, if you don't know how to look at that, it's just like I'm sending the ticker in the chat right now. This is the dollar strength index, all right? So if you follow that, you can follow how strong the dollar is, and with that also a little bit how strong the US economy is. And I think that's the main thing to watch, because it seems like the results are being interpreted as a little bit more bearish rather than bullish by the markets right now, even though Bitcoin is the only crypto that's moving. If we're taking a look at some other cryptos, they are barely moving, I would say, or at least not that much. They're a bit bullish. No, they're actually, they're bullish and bearish. It's really, they're not really picking a side yet. Oh, excuse me. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the dollar strength index does. Like I said, technically, it's in this area between 106.04 and the support around 105.4. So we have to wait for some sort of a breakout. And if we're not going to get a breakout, I assume that Bitcoin will continue to be bearish. All right, because we have seen that Bitcoin has shown quite a lot of bearish momentum in the last couple of days. I don't see any reason why that would stop necessarily. All right, so if nothing major happens with the dollar strength index, I expect Bitcoin to continue falling. All right, that's my main consensus right now. Obviously, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens, but we'll have to see how the market reacts to this, because my thoughts are that this is quite neutral. Leaning towards being bullish for the dollar strength index, which would be bearish for Bitcoin. So I'm leaning towards being bearish on Bitcoin and expecting a move down to the 26,300, 26,100 level. It seems more likely, given the news. But I don't think there's enough confirmation for this yet. So it's a bit hard to say. Yeah, that's just the truth. It's hard to say at this point of time, all right? I would say, like I said, given all the news, it's a bit more bearish. Like the inflation rate and the CPI were definitely the most important news events. But lately, the last couple of weeks, Bitcoin has reacted quite a lot to the initial jobless claims as well. And just in general, job openings, and unemployment rate, Bitcoin has reacted to that quite a lot as well. But now we're seeing that the dollar strength index really is trying to get that bullish breakout. So that's just another, I mean, it hasn't broken out yet. You can see it's trying to above this yellow box. But Bitcoin is holding on fairly well. So overall, I'm leaning towards being bearish, but the overall results are quite neutral. So yeah, if anybody has a question on it, let me know. Let me know in the chat of the stream. Then we might be able to explore that. Otherwise, we'll just quit the stream in a moment. It's a short stream, but it's always nice watching this news together. Ethereum right now, Ethereum is just very bearish. Like Ethereum is really doing nothing. It has a strong support level coming up, obviously around 1500, but also with this trend line. So it might be able to gather some support from that area, but altogether, technically, it's looking very bad. It's just looking very bearish. So Ethereum is really not moving that much. Bitcoin is trying to hold its own, I would say. And it's doing fairly well so far, but like I said, I mean, usually these moves, after news like this, it's usually the next like 8 hours where you can see big moves happening. A scalp trade on Bitcoin, there's no, I mean, if you're scalping Bitcoin right now, it's just gambling, all right? You cannot scalp Bitcoin. Maybe you can open a long and a short position and wait for some sort of a breakout. That is what I would do. I've done that in the past as well. Looks like a massive bear flag. On which time frame? Oh, like this. Like this, you mean? So let me do something like this. Like this is a bear flag, right? So a drop down, bear flag, continuation down to 23,000, something like that. Yeah, it could be. It could very well be. I do not disagree with that. I am personally, if you take a look at my trades right now, you would almost say that I'm expecting that. Even though I'm not necessarily right now, but I am open to the idea. BNT right now, yeah, BNT. My short opinion is that I think it's going to drop down. All right, 50 cents is the last holding support level. If 50 cents breaks, BNT will drop down towards 46 cents and eventually down to 44 and 42 cents. But I'm biased because I'm short. All right, just to be honest. So it could theoretically still rally. Like you can also see right here BNT actually rallied quite a bit and then dropped down. But like I said, I think it's more likely it's going to fall now. BNT is really showing no momentum. And if you take a look at some numbers like these, you can see that the open interest and the volume are dropping down massively, which just means that it's losing more and more momentum. But those are my thoughts. All right. So when the dollar strength index is on the breakout or generally bullish, what kind of direction are we looking on other FX pairs? Well, if the dollar is strong, euro against US dollar is going to go down because for €1 you can buy less dollars, right? So that's probably also what we're seeing right now. If we take a look at it, right here. Yeah, so you can see that this is dropping down quite a bit. And Euro GBP, I'm not sure. Euro GBP, I think the results for Euro GBP are minimal. I think they're minimal. I mean, you can take a look at it right now, but Euro GBP is basically a stable coin, right? So, I don't know. Yeah, it's a little bit bearish, but it's just it's in line with the trend. So, not that much happening. Big time, I cannot say anything on big time. All right, it's super bullish. It's now between 30 cents right here and 31 cents. I will make a video on BitTime, by the way, later today on whether it's really a good project to invest in or not. So keep an eye out for that. That might be interesting if you're looking at BitTime and you think, hey, this project looks nice. I will make a video on that. Live trading, I hope this weekend. All right, it's my other live trading account was liquidated after the scalp sessions that we did. But yeah, so yeah. Before opening any trades in FX, you should okay. So I have traded Forex before, so perhaps so I do know a little bit about this. There are multiple things you have to follow. All right, you don't necessarily need to follow other pairs, but you do need to follow the dollar strength index, which right now, by the way, is very bullish. You do need to follow the dollar strength index. Obviously, you need to follow all of the economic news. You need to follow the price of oil for coins like the Canadian dollar, which is very oil reliant. You need to follow gold because some currencies are more correlated to gold. For example, the Japanese yen. So those things you do have to take a look at. Maybe like this is a very general guide, but if you go to baby pips and then correlations, you can find a little bit more about those correlations. All right, so that's you can find out more there. Because I'm not an expert in forex trading. I have done it, but it's a while ago. But all right, guys, we're going to end the stream here. Like I said, dollar strength index needs to get a bullish breakout if we want to see Bitcoin falling. I would say the results are pretty neutral, so I do expect volatility. I'm kind of leaning towards expecting a more bearish Bitcoin, but it could theoretically go both ways. Because of the news being kind of ambiguous. But like I said, I expect it to drop. But those are my thoughts on it for now. Thank you all for being here. It was a nice quick stream. Hopefully, like I said, streaming again this weekend, but I'll keep you updated on that in the Discord group, in the Telegram group, everything. And on YouTube, you can obviously see it. So for now, thank you for being here. I want to wish you all a great day, and I'll see you all in my next videos. Bye.